welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. This is the show that gives you everything you need to know before the big game kicks off. Derby County bring their Christmas and New Year swing to a close today. The Rams back on the road to face Bristol City, where the Rams are looking to improve on an away record that's seen them pick up just one win in 12 attempts. That was at Coventry back in November. They're looking to do the double over Bristol City, though, after a terrific win over the Robins in August at Pride Park. Kenzo Hapmine and David Ozo with their first Derby goals. Caden Jackson on target as well. But Derby haven't won at Ashton Gate in nearly 6 years. Bristol City's 3-game home winning streak against the Rams goes back to February 2020. Naki Wells among the scorers that day, and he's still a big part of this City side with 5 goals for the campaign so far. Former Derby favourites Jason Knight and Max Bird are also at the heart of the side. Knight is the captain and ever present, while Bird has been involved in every home game this season. The home side come into the weekend 5 points off the playoffs and unbeaten in 3, though they were held at Plymouth on New Year's Day. They've never played in the Premier League and haven't been in the top flight since 1980. Well, heading into the new year, it looks like a 4-horse race for the 2 automatic promotion places from the Championship. Leeds to have a 3-point lead at the top. Could Sheffield United's 2-point penalty cost them a place in the top 2? Sunderland are just a couple of points off the pace now, and plenty of teams will certainly feel like they are in the playoff hunt, Bristol City included. Still only 6 points between Derby and the top half. The gap between the Rams and the relegation zone is 5 points now. Cardiff and Plymouth at the bottom both have a game in hand on Derby. That's after Derby picked up just 3 points from their 3 festive fixtures, beating West Brom at Pride Park on Boxing Day, losing to Leeds and to Sheffield Wednesday on New Year's Day as well. Curtis Nelson has been giving us his thoughts on the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think you pretty much summed it up there for us. Highs and lows, obviously the highs of Boxing Day, and then the disappointment at Leeds, and obviously again disappointment at Sheffield Wednesday. So I think it's time to kind of put that right, I guess, on Saturdays. The old cliche kind of goes, and yeah, we know the performances have sort of been there, especially against West Brom and Leeds, and that we let ourselves down at Sheffield Wednesday. So I think, well, I say we let ourselves down. We did do some good stuff. It's just there's a lot of areas where we could have done a lot better. But yeah, we need to get back to putting in a good performance and getting 3 points at Bristol.
Even the game at Hillsborough, in some senses, did it feel as though you did enough to win that game?
Yeah, in one hand, but in other ways, no, we didn't. And obviously the scoreline kind of reflected that, and it was disappointing to concede so many away from home. But again, we need to look forward. We need to learn, and we've had obviously already debriefed it, kind of thing. And so yeah, we need to move forward on from that now.
Everyone we've spoke to over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about Christmas and how they spend it and what they've done and what sacrifices families have to make. But I suppose on the other hand, how is it spending so much time at this time of year around your mates, around your teammates?
Yeah, it's good. It's draining. I guess not drain. No, it's not draining because you're with your mates. You're constantly at it. We've not obviously not having days off. We're grinding every day. It's quite mentally draining, the fact that you finish one game and then you're straight into the next game. There's no kind of lull between the games where you can kind of properly debrief, work on the next game. And I think from that set point of view, I think most football teams will find that when you have like quick games in quick succession like that, it is quite demanding mentally as well as physically, because it is like 4 games in 9 days or whatever it is. And I know that the guys in the Premier League obviously badger on about how many games they have, but I think I do understand it, but it's draining from that sense. But at the same time, being with your mates every day is class. You do miss out on the family time, which is obviously gutting, and you're limited to only a couple of pigs and blankets on Christmas Day and whatnot. But I'd rather be going into the West Brom game, getting 3 points light on pigs and blankets, and going in too heavy. So.
But you still managed to have a good time and spend some time with the family?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, obviously family time's great. Seeing everyone kind of coming to the games and stuff like that was obviously a big crowds for both the kind of Christmas fixtures, and yeah, having the fans there as well. Hopefully they did fill out, didn't they, Pride Park? So yeah, it was brilliant.
Over the next few weeks, the manager is going to be bombarded with questions about the transfer window. So just to share the load a little bit, how is the transfer window for a dressing room? Do you talk about it? Are you speculating about who might come, where people might go?
The first we probably hear of things or see of things is if someone was to be in for a medical, but even now that's kind of done when we've all gone home. So it'll be like maybe a number will get added to the players group chat, and it's like, right, who's this then? And then it'll come out on social media or whatever, and it's like, oh, so I'm guessing that's him. But yeah, no, it is what it is. It's football. Everyone's been in it long enough. Most people have been in it long enough to know that people are going to come and go, and that's just part of the game.
As a fan, do you get swept up in it at all? You know, watching the news and seeing the speculation.
Only time I have Sky Sports news on is in the training ground. Once I get home, it's not on. So yeah, like I said, see it in the group chat. Might see like an Instagram post from yourselves, and that's it. For a refreshing approach, I have to say. Let's get back to the football. How big does Saturday become now after the game you had on New Year's Day? Yeah, it's massive. Every game's massive in this league. Every game's massive every week. We want to be taking as many points as possible. Whichever game we go into. So I think off the back of the last two results, we want to get the win. We need the win. I wouldn't say that we're desperate for it, but it's one of them where we need to make it a game where we want the 3 points more than them. Gives us like a healthier return on obviously the month and the Christmas period. So yeah, it's important.
Curtis Nelson. Not quite a full lineup of games in the Championship today. Most clubs playing their fourth match in 10 days, of course. Two of the strugglers face off in one of the lunchtime games at Stoke against Plymouth. There's a Yorkshire derby at 3 with Leeds visiting Hull. Cardiff, the other side in the bottom 3, go to Middlesbrough. Portsmouth among the sides in action later in the weekend. And now let's hear from Derby boss Paul Warne ahead of today's trip to Bristol City with some good news on the injury front.
No major updates. I think I know Ozzy's back, so that's a boost. And I don't think there's any other dramas I need to discuss. Apart from, it looks really positive with Ryan Nyambi's on the grass, as is Cash, as is David. So I think after the Leyton Orient game, I should have all three of them back in the squad, which will feel like, especially with Ryan and David, feel like new signings. So that's good.
Yeah, definitely good news. Talking to Curtis Nelson earlier, and he was talking about the challenges of this time of the year, being as much mental as physical. Are you finding that as well with the run of games we've had?
Yeah, I mean, I know this is the lifestyle we choose, so I don't want to sound too downbeat on it, but it is tough. It is tough, as in you play the game, win or lose. You come in the next day, you do a debrief. We've watched the game back. You know, we've been at home for an hour, watched the darts, gone to sleep, that sort of thing. Watch the game back. You clip it for the lads. You show the lads, and then you sort of want them Men in Black pens to go zip for those who have watched the film, and then they completely forget it and just reload the next game information. And then, obviously, behind the scenes, all not elves, because it's past Christmas now, but loads of people are putting stuff together to show the team the next game and the next information. Plus you're trying to get the lads to recover and flush out and all that thing. And then in fairness as well, you also got your own life. So you also have, families saying, oh, we're going round there for tea tonight, or, the lads get pulled pillar to post, and it is a very hectic time. It's a good time, it's an exciting time for everyone, family people especially, but it is an exhausting time. So I'm looking forward to, giving the lads a couple of days after this last game, a real big push away from home, tough game obviously, but a big push, and then we build for the FA Cup game. So it'll just be nice to have a little bit more normality, because I do know, but sometimes I forget what day it is, and that's how I think everyone's felt really.
Yeah, I think we've all been in the same boat, to be fair.
See, it's Friday, by the way. Friday.
You mentioned the debrief and the clips. Is there anything significant that's come out of that, looking back on the game on New Year's Day at Hillsborough?
Nothing that I would publicly share, in the fact that I don't want to, highlight what I see as our weaknesses. I still feel that we had enough chances in the game. I still think we should have been leading going into half-time, but I was disappointed with certain aspects of our game, and a little bit of it was a little bit of a lack of energy, really, to a certain extent. So, but there was a lot of things I was pleased with. But yeah, generally speaking, I think I'll keep it under hat.
On to Saturday then, and it is Saturday.
Well done.
I know we talked about them earlier in the season, but a couple of familiar faces in the Bristol City squad in Jason Knight and Max Bird, who I notice are now top of the assist charts for them.
Yeah, and play virtually every week, and I understand why obviously Bristol wanted to sign them, because they're at a good age and physically very good, and both very good footballers. So, and because I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Hayden Roberts will be playing as well. So it'd be nice to catch up with all of them after the game, but we go there and try and perform at a level. Look, when we played them at home, for those who went, might remember the scoreline, but for the first 20 minutes we couldn't get a kick. They kept getting behind David and kept causing us a lot of problems. So, excuse me, we've shown the lads a lot of the recent games of Bristol, because they've changed their shape a little bit, but we've also shown them a little bit how when we played against them, the problems they cause. So I'm well aware of how hard the opposition is, and yeah, it's got familiar faces in, so they obviously know maybe a bit more about us than most teams.
Is there not that much you can take from that win over them back in August then, if they've changed significantly since?
Not really. Yeah, I don't. I never go into it thinking, we've got this, because if it's the same the other way around, we lost to Watford away, earlier in the season, and when we play them, I don't regard that as a negative. I regard that as well. I've got something to prove, so to speak. But and you think you're familiar with the teams, but if you play both teams in the same window, both home and away games in the same period, a bit like Leeds, both the games are quite similar. The shapes will be quite similar. The players will. If it's spread over, a window, maybe not this game, but you can't really, like our team is significantly different to our team at the start of the season. Bristol City's has changed. They've even changed shape. So there are similarities, but not enough that you could go off. And obviously form and energy and everything else comes to play a massive part. Just take away the tactics, everything else around it. They're not robots, they're humans. So I don't read too much into it now.
That's Paul Warne, and this has been the build-up this afternoon on RamsTV. It is Bristol City against Derby County. You can watch the game with us. We're available everywhere outside the UK this afternoon. Get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. Matchday live with you from 2:30. I'll be back then. Goodbye.